And welcome to the August midpoint. And boy, are we feeling it. We have a lot going on energetically over the next 6 days, all overlapping with the full moon window. So this is the longest video in a while, and I highly recommend you come back and watch it a few times over the next few days as the energies progress, because there are a lot of challenging aspects. We have 4 squares happening, and if you are needing a refresher on what it means when planets square one another, I encourage you to watch my video from earlier in the summer when we had another planetary square dance. This square dance reprise, however, in true square dance fashion, will be, as they say, second verse same as the first, but a little bit faster and a little bit worse. No, I'm kidding. But it is going to be a bit challenging, so let's bring some awareness to everything that is going on, because it is a lot, and without a clear head, you're much less likely to be operating at the higher arc of these energies. So we start off with a Mars square Saturn on Friday, which energetically extends for several days afterwards and will overlap with the Venus-Jupiter-Saturn T-Square, Mercury Cazimi, and full moon, all happening on Monday. Then, right before the full moon window closes, Venus and Mars square up on Thursday when the sun also moves into Virgo, closing out Leo season with some celestial fireworks for sure. The best piece of advice I can give y'all is stay in your lane this week, guys, and know that this is a lot of tense energy and is going to affect every one of us, whether we have awareness of it or not. Remember, a square is an aspect where planets make a 90-degree angle to each other in the sky, and it creates tension between the two planets and highlights areas where we face struggles in these themes in our lives. Additionally, since Saturn is featured in multiple squares, the theme of Saturn retrograde is going to be quite prominent, particularly where it overlaps for you with the theme of Mercury retrograde. So let's break it down. The theme of Saturn retrograde is seeing where our illusions are stopping us from building our most aligned life, the life we actually want, even if it's not the life we think we want. The theme of Mercury retrograde is where are we giving away our power and not living as the divine royal being that we are. The theme of the Aquarius Full Moon is all about living authentically as our true self and owning our unique essence and purpose. Notice there is a major connection here because all the planets are really trying to get us to step out of our comfort zones, push past our limits, stop living small, and embrace our mission, our purpose, and our higher nature. To do this, we absolutely need to let go of illusion, the stories we tell ourselves about why we make the choices we make in particular, and we really need to face head-on the situations in which we choose to give away our power, stifle our authenticity, and choose to be someone we simply are not. I'm going to be real. Nothing about that is going to be comfortable, but that is good. Comfort is the enemy of progress, as any Olympic athlete will attest. We are all capable of incredibly amazing, mind-blowing things in our lives, but the cost of that is comfort. So sometimes what we need is for the things that are holding us back and feel comfortable and familiar to suddenly become very uncomfortable in order to propel us forward. So honestly, during this entire Mercury retrograde, and especially this week, use comfort as a litmus. Where have you shied away from something uncomfortable and unfamiliar recently? A hard conversation, a challenging realization, a relationship, either personally or professionally, that pushes you, etc., etc. And conversely, where have you chosen to stay comfortable, perpetuate a pattern or dynamic because it is easy, familiar, and known? And vice versa, where have you chosen the uncomfortable route and stepped into something new? So keep all of that in the back of your mind as I discuss some of the specifics of this kind of crunchy week. So we start with Saturn square Mars. Mars is the planet of action, forward motion, ambition, and drive. Saturn is going to slam hard brakes on Mars right now. Saturn wants deliberation and justice. Do not try to get anything done quickly at this time. Saturn says there is something you haven't seen, something you are still missing. Hard pause. Where are you struggling to surrender to divine timing? This square will be experienced as impatience, but in that impatience is hiding an illusion, something you believe but isn't real, or something you are refusing to let yourself see about the situation that you have been trying to Mars hustle your way through, hoping you can avoid it until the situation is done. But Saturn says, nope, the situation is not the real problem, but what you are avoiding is what is actually holding you back in life and is what you are being asked to face now. We then move into the dreaded T-Square, where we have 3 planets wrestling for control. In this case, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. Venus is opposite Saturn, square to Jupiter, and which is also square to Saturn. I really need a whiteboard for this one, guys. But this is all about the heart and is a time to majorly reevaluate the decisions you have been making in your life and why you have been making them. Jupiter is pushing forward, expanding, and Saturn is slamming on brakes and saying, hey, happy-go-lucky, are you really on the right track? Who's steering this thing anyway? This T-square is going to be felt as second-guessing, impulsivity, stubbornness, and indecision. And the risk with Jupiter in Gemini is to try to think and rationalize your way out, but that is not it. Venus holds the key to navigating this planetary aspect, which means you absolutely must follow your heart. You will not logic your way through this successfully because Saturn is hitting you with a hard course correction, and odds are that course was chosen by rationalization to begin with. This is a time for changing your mind and changing your heart. And the nice thing is, the full moon in Aquarius is going to be amping up the humanitarian higher mind, helping us get out of the lower ego, spite, fear, and judgment-driven aspects and elevate into the higher humanitarian perspective. The Mercury-Sun Cazimi at the same time will be strongly illuminating dynamics in our lives that we have likely rationalized and justified as okay. Oh, look, an illusion. And likely are ones we maintain because it is comfortable and easier to do so. Avoidance. But these dynamics are majorly problematic to our well-being, our ability to live as empowered sovereigns in our lives, and our ability to align with our greater purpose and mission. This is going to be the culmination of a 6-month cycle that started with the Aquarius new moon in February and even reaches back to the Aquarius full moon last year. The full moon Mercury retrograde Cazimi may be felt as dissatisfaction and frustration, knowing you want more and deserve better, the feeling of living out of alignment with your truest self. And in this way, it serves as major fuel for you to leverage the opportunity of the T-square to change how you are operating in your life in really meaningful ways. So overall, this coming week has a pretty high potential for some impatience, frustration, second guessing, and dissatisfaction. And that's okay. Because these feelings are communication from your soul about what is important, actually important, not what your lower mind thinks is important. And remember, the full moon is always the time of the greatest illumination of the lower mind and the greatest opportunity for alignment with our soul. The planets are really working together this week to offer us an incredible gift, the chance to reconsider the choices we have made and change that course before it is too late, so that we can move ourselves into greater alignment with our soul, our purpose, and the life that we actually desire, even if to the rational mind, it doesn't yet make sense. So if this week you find yourself saying, I don't know why, but I just know, you are doing it right. But if you find yourself armed with a logical litany of reasons justifying your behavior in the situation, it's time to take a hard pause and get out of your head and into your heart. And though this week may be challenging, as always, remember that the other side is better than you can even imagine. For challenges are opportunities, and the greater the challenge, the greater the opportunity for joy. So don't check out of this one. Lean in, get in the grit, and savor the sweet, sweet fruits on the other side.